Our next guest has been performing her original music in Toronto nightclubs for a number of years, but she will finally make her St. Catharines debut this Sunday in her hometown, opening up for two bands, Mono Whales and a St. Catharines synth band called Years of the Modern. Olive B is her name, and I have to say, I have to be upfront about our connection. Do you want to say it, or should I?
I think you should.
Okay. Her real name is Nicole Balsam. That's right, the same last name as mine. She is my brother's kid, and I'm so proud of her, and that's why I've invited her on the program today. Nicole, or Olive, I'll call you Olive from this point
Yeah,
on.
thank you.
What's it like to be performing your first show back home?
It's honestly, it feels really surreal. I feel like I'm really excited. Um, Across the street is where like the Junior B Falcons used to play, and that's where I actually had my first gig. So it's exciting to back in grade 7. So it's really exciting to come back home and
To
perform.
clear that up, that first gig was singing the anthem at one of those Falcons games, right?
Yeah.
Now, talk about your songwriting and the style of your music. I've always struggled at sort of putting a label on it. I
Mhm.
try to tell people it's sort of like chill out jazz in a way. And would
Ooh,
you call it that?
I would say it's like alternative pop R&B. I feel like
But
those.
growing up,
Mhm.
knowing that, I was at your house almost every Sunday when you were just a little kid, and your mother would always put on jazz. She loved jazz
Yeah.
during these dinner parties. Were you somewhat influenced by that?
Oh, my mom's music 100% influenced like what I make now. Yeah.
And how does that inform what you do when you sit down and write some of the lyrics?
Um, Honestly, I'm like I usually freestyle all of my songs. So I'll like listen to a beat, I'll like find lyrics just like freestyling over top, and then I'll go from there. And it's usually like a jazzy beat that I find like on YouTube or like a producer that has sent me one.
You're a true independent artist, two albums to your name, and what was the
Yeah.
process like recording those albums?
Honestly, it was amazing. The first one was very surreal. I had never like actually sat down with a producer and worked, so it was really exciting to like have an experience one-on-one with someone who was a bit more professional. And then the second one was like I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about, and I just like laid it out, and they were both really exciting to write.
Were you surprised that your song Playmate hit 1.2 million listens on Spotify? That's huge.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like I don't understand those numbers. I'm like I don't like I just see it and I'm like, oh cool. Like I don't see, yeah, it's crazy.
Now, we can put it into perspective. I think I just read this morning Eminem had his sixth 1 billion listens on Spotify, but still,
Yeah,
1 million for an independent artist, that's quite incredible. And you've had some interest from CBC Music with their annual contests as well.
yeah, yeah. It's really exciting.
When, when I go back to the early days, and again, going to your house on Sundays, and I know you're going to be embarrassed about this, but when you were just little, you would come out in your pajamas before going to bed, take your, it was a little stand with a speaker on the bottom, and you would force me, but I was never forced because I always enjoyed it, force
Yeah,
me to listen to you sing along to the Spice Girls, and you were great.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and to think that you're now performing at the warehouse and opening up for a band like Mono Whales, that's an
mhm,
incredible thought for me.
yeah. It's really exciting.
Now, your music is a little bit different than Mono Whales. They're
Mhm.
a little bit more aggressive, a little louder. How do you fit in with these two acts?
I feel like, yeah, they're a bit more like pop punk, I would say. I definitely think like Playmate, I think a lot of like, because I don't have like one specific genre that I think I create. So I think all together, like the three bands will like go really well together. Just like a mix of different.
Some of your old friends from your Sir Winston Churchill days may be coming to see you.
I hope so, yes. I know some are.
So tickets at Sunday night, October 16th, tickets $20, available
Mhm.
at warehousenagra.com. I'll
Yeah.
be there. There's going to be a whole contingent from the Balsam family watching you that night. I do have to admit that after you, I'm going to stick around, but I might have to put in my earplugs.
That's totally fine. I think I need to buy some. Maybe it's runs in the family. I
Olive
think.
B, thanks for joining us today. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.